that metallic clunk in your car makes every time you hit a pothole, a speed bump, or a rough patch of road. That metal and metal sound that makes you want to crank up the radio and pretend it's coming from someone else's car. Yeah, you know that sound. And if you're watching this video, you've officially hit your limit. The good news is I'm going to walk you through exactly where that noise is coming from, what causes it, and how to fix it. There's the right way, what a solid mechanic would do. And there's the American duct tape approach, which actually works when your wallet's screaming. I'll show you both. No fear-mongering, no runaround. But before we get into it, subscribe to the channel right now and hit the bell. Takes 2 seconds, costs you nothing, and it helps me out a ton. And if you've got a buddy dealing with the same noise, text him this video right now. You might just save him from blowing a few $100. He didn't need to. First thing, let's understand what's actually going on under there. Disc brake systems work on a simple principle. You press the pedal. Hydraulic pressure pushes a piston inside the brake caliper. The piston squeezes the brake pads against the rotor, and friction stops the car. Clean, direct, effective. The component that's almost always the source of that metallic noise is the brake caliper. More specifically, the pins inside it. These are called guide pins, or slide pins. They allow the caliper to move laterally a few millimeters. When you brake, it's a small, constant movement that happens thousands of times over the life of the component. For this to work properly, those pins need to be lubricated and protected by a small rubber boot. When the rubber boot cracks, water and dirt get in. The grease dries up, the pin rusts, the caliper starts to bind, and when the caliper binds, the pad sits unevenly, and then the noise show begins. But there's a second noise mechanism that's just as common and simpler to fix. The brake pad itself can rattle inside the caliper bracket. The pad isn't bolted in, it sits with a tiny intentional gap that lets it slide when needed. Over time, that gap grows, and when the gap grows, the pad has room to vibrate. Metal on metal creates that signature sound, especially on rough roads, speed bumps, or when the car shakes. This second case is less serious structurally, but equally annoying, and it's exactly the one our quick fix method will handle later. Now, here's a critical point I need to make before anything else. Pay attention. These two problems have similar symptoms, but different causes and solutions. And there's a third possibility that cannot be ignored. The pad might be worn below minimum thickness. When the pad wears too far, the friction material is gone, and you get direct metal-to-metal contact between the pad's backing plate and the rotor. This creates a scraping sound similar to the rattle, but it's way more serious. Pad scraping on rotor means reduced braking performance, real accident risk. And if you let it go too far, the rotor gets scored. Now, you're looking at replacing a $30 pad situation that turned into a $300, $500 rotor job. So before any fix, you need to know which situation you're dealing with. The safest way is a visual inspection with the wheel off. Look at the friction material thickness on the pad. Most pads have a wear indicator groove. When the material is at or below that groove, it's time to replace. If you're not sure what you're looking at, take it to a shop that specializes in brakes. Plenty of Places, Midas, Brake Masters. Your local shop will do a brake inspection for free. Take advantage of that. Undeniable. Any mechanic who glances at your car for 2 minutes and immediately jumps to replacing the entire caliper without first checking the pins, and pads deserves a second opinion. Always get another quote. Let me tell you a quick story. Picture Dave, an Uber driver in Houston. 2017 Camry, just under 200,000 miles on it. The noise started a light, just over speed bumps. He ignored it, then it became a constant clunk. His wife complained. His passengers gave him the sign, so he took it to the dealership. The service advisor came back with a quote for $1,400 to replace both calipers. He went for a second opinion at a trusted, independent shop in his neighborhood. Different diagnosis. Dried out pins, a small crack in the right side boot, pads worn but still within spec. Repair kit, fresh grease. An hour of labor. $175, the noise was gone. Dave still tells that story. The moral isn't that dealerships are always wrong. It's that correct diagnosis comes before the solution, every single time. All right, let's get into the proper fix. Step by step. Safety first. And this isn't just filler talk. Park on flat, solid ground, never on a slope. Set the parking brake. Use your floor jack to lift the car, but never trust it alone. Lay the removed wheel flat under the side of the car, or use a jack stand. Hydraulic jacks fail. That's not a hypothetical, it's documented. The wheel under the car absorbs the drop and can save your life if it happens. With the car secure, pull the wheel off. You'll see the brake caliper mounted around the rotor. The caliper is held on by 2 bolts on most common American vehicles: Camry, Civic, F-150, Silverado, Accord. These are 12 millimeters or 30 millimeters bolts. Confirm the right size before you start. Using the wrong wrench damages the bolt head and turns a simple job into a headache. Remove both bolts with the caliper free. Never let it hang from the brake hose. That flexible hose connects the caliper to the hydraulic system. It wasn't designed to support the caliper's weight. If it kinks or tears, you're into bleeding the whole brake system, and replacing the hose, cheap job, just became expensive. Use a wire hanger or bungee cord to support the caliper while you work. Pull the pads from the bracket. Check the condition. Measure the friction material thickness. Manufacturer minimum is typically 2 millimeters, about 3/32 inch. Below that, replace them. Don't think twice. Now, pull the guide pins. They're covered by rubber boots. Pull the boot back carefully and the pin slides out. Inspect the pin. Smooth surface. No deep rust. No deformation. Good. Reuse it after cleaning. Light rust. Hit it with fine sandpaper and wipe it down. Deep rust, pitting, or deformation. Replace it. A repair kit with 2 new pins and boots runs between $15 and $40 depending on the vehicle. For a Camry, Civic, or F-150, you'll find them at AutoZone, O'Reilly, Napa, or Amazon. Stick with known brands like Carlson, Dorman, or Check! The rubber boot. It needs to be soft. No tears, no cracks. A compromised boot doesn't protect the pin. Even with fresh grease, dirt gets back in fast, and the problem returns in months. Now, the grease, and this is where a lot of people get it wrong. Do not use regular chassis grease. Bearing grease or petroleum jelly. These compounds react with the rubber boot and destroy it within weeks. You fix the noise today, and 2 months later, you've got a shredded boot and a pin exposed to rust. Use silicone-based grease for rubber components or white lithium grease. Both are chemically neutral toward rubber and handle brake system temperature swings. A small tube runs between $5 and $12 at any auto parts store. Apply a generous coat of grease along the full length of the pin. Reinstall the boot. The pin should slide smoothly. Before reinstalling the pads, apply a small amount of high-temp brake grease to the metal ears. The edge is where the pad contacts, the metal bracket. Important, metal ears only. Never on the friction material. Grease on the friction surface kills braking performance completely. To reinstall the caliper, the piston needs to be pushed back enough to clear the new pads. Use a brake piston tool, about $10, at any parts store, or a large socket with locking pliers to slowly push the piston back. Never use a flathead screwdriver directly on the piston. It damages the seal. Before pushing the piston, pull the reservoir cap. Fluid will be pushed back up, and if the reservoir is full, it'll overflow. Reinstall the caliper. Torque the bolts snugly, but don't over-tighten. Mount the wheel, and tighten the lug nuts in a star pattern. Now, before you drive, pump the brake pedal several times with the car stationary until it feels firm and resistant. The piston needs to advance back into contact with the pads. If you skip this and pull out, the pedal goes to the floor on your first stop. Pump until it's solid. Do a slow 20-foot test, braking gently before driving normally. Done. Right job, lasting result. If you're finding this useful, smash that like button right now. It really helps the channel reach more people who need this info. And drop a comment with your car's year, make, model, and what kind of noise you're dealing with. I'll respond to everyone. Now, let's get into the quick fix that actually works. Let me be straight with you before anything else. A quick fix is a temporary measure for a specific problem. The people who use it responsibly are buying themselves time while they plan the proper repair. The people who don't are just using it as an excuse to never fix anything. You know which one you want to be. The double-sided tape trick for brake pads fixes one specific problem: a pad with excessive play in the caliper bracket that's rattling and making noise. The tape eliminates that play and the noise disappears. This isn't backyard improvisation. It's a variation on the same principle manufacturers use when they apply anti-squill shims to OEM pads. Budget version, proven result. People who've done it report it lasting well over a year under normal driving conditions. But it only works for that specific case. If the noise is from a stuck pin, a seized piston, a worn pad, or a scored rotor tape, doesn't fix it. It'll mask the symptom for a while and the problem comes back worse. How do you know if it's pad vibration? The noise shows up on rough pavement, speed bumps, or when the car shakes. It decreases or disappears when you lightly tap the brakes because the piston advances and takes up the gap, and your braking is normal, firm pedal, car stops, fine. If that's your situation, let's do it. You'll need foam, double-sided tape, the kind with a spongy layer between the two adhesive faces. That version handles much more heat and moisture than thin paper tape. You'll find it at Home Depot or Walmart for around $5. You'll also need the caliper bolt wrench, a jack, in about 15 minutes. Jack up the car safely. Pull the wheel. Remove the 2 caliper bolts. Support the caliper so it doesn't hang from the hose. With the caliper in your hands, look at the interfaces, the surfaces that contact the metal ears of the pad. You'll see shiny wear marks, contact ruts. Those are the exact spots where the pad slaps against the caliper. That's where the tape goes. Cut to small pieces of foam tape, 1 per contact face, big enough to cover the contact area. Pressed firmly for good adhesion. Pro tip: don't peel the top liner off the tape. Leave it on. Leave it on. The liner adds extra rigidity and protects the adhesive from heat longer. It makes a real difference in how long it lasts. Reinstall the pads. With the tape adding thickness, the pads will sit tighter. The gap that caused the vibration is gone. Push the piston back slightly, as described in the proper fix section. Torque the bolts, mount the wheel, lower the car, pump the pedal several times until firm, and do your slow brake test before driving. The noise stops immediately. Braking feels the same. And the cost? Basically, nothing. Longevity depends on tape quality, how hot your brakes run, and how hard you drive. Normal city driving with foam tape, you're looking at 6 months to over a year. Rideshare driver doing 300 miles a day, maybe less. And when the tape lets go, the noise comes back. That's it. No brake safety risk because the tape is in a zone that never contacts the rotor or the friction material. Use the quick fix with some... If you're on your 3rd application, it's time to buy the repair kit. Now what you really want to know: what does each path cost? The tape fix. Maybe $10. Worst case, 15 minutes of your time. The guide pin repair kit with fresh grease, $15 to $40 depending on the vehicle. For a Camry, Civic, F150, Accord, or any common vehicle. Easy to find at AutoZone or Napa. 1 hour shop labor. If you don't want a DIY, pad replacement, $25 to $80 for pads, plus labor. Brands like Wagner, Akebono, and Bosch all make solid aftermarket pads. Avoid the no-name junk from the discount bin. You don't cut corners on brakes. Rotor replacement when needed due to excessive scoring. $40 to $120 per rotor, plus labor. Full caliper replacement, which your dealer will suggest with remarkable enthusiasm. $150 to $400 per unit for OEM, with labor on both sides. You're easily looking at $800 to $1,500. See the difference? $10 a tape, $40 of repair kit, or $1,000 caliper job. The right diagnosis is what determines which path makes sense. That's why I kept hammering on it at the start. Last tip, and it matters. Get your brakes inspected at least once a year, or every 25,000 miles. Don't wait for the noise. A worn pad that scores a rotor turns a $40 job into a $400 job. It's the classic American logic of waiting until the check engine light bricks the car before taking it in for an oil change. If you're in LA, Houston, Chicago, Atlanta, or any city with brutal stop-and-go traffic, bump that up to every 15,000 miles and flush your brake fluid every 2 years. Brake fluid absorbs moisture over time, the boiling point drops, and it can fail on long mountain descents. That's called vapor lock. It's not a theory, it's a crash waiting to happen. Brakes are the single most important safety system on your car. There is no close second. Take care of your brakes. Not for the car, for yourself and everyone riding with you. If you've made it this far, you're the type who actually takes safety seriously. So here's what you do right now. Hit like if this was useful, subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next, and drop a comment with your year, make, model, and the noise you're hearing. I'll read everything and reply to as many as I can. The next video covers brake fluid, when to change it, how to tell when yours is past its prime, and what happens if you ignore it. You'll want to be subscribed when that one drops. See you then. And remember, good brakes are inspected brakes.